Good morning. Happy Friday. I know I'm just a little bit early today because there is some snow coming and I want to make sure I get to my teaching gig on time. But today we're going to talk about a major misconception about teaching teaching music specifically, that most people assume. A major misconception about teaching music that most people assume. You ready for this? Here we go. Oh, by the way, my name is Andrea Oram. I teach choir and elementary music, and I teach K-12. Actually, I teach even retired folks too, so I teach all sorts of people. But I mentor new music teachers, and it's a blast. Anyway, today we're talking about a major misconception about teaching music because so many people assume this, and I'm tired of hearing it. Gonna get a little sassy here today. But the truth is, I'm tired of hearing about it because it isn't true. And it doesn't need to be true unless you choose to make it true. So, that major misconception is that it is a talent that you have rather than a skill that you build. Let me say that again. Teaching music is a talent that you have already instead of a skill that you build. That is not true, because when you work hard at it, when you learn the tools, the specific things you need in order to be successful at it, you can build this skill and you can become successful, even if you don't start out knowing those things, even if you start out struggling with certain parts of it. But if you believe in your head that you can't be good at it unless you're already talented at it, do you think you will actually be able to gain that skill and practice it and have the grit to keep going when it gets hard? Nope, you won't. So if you believe that it is a talent that you should just have already, I can't change that belief for you. Only you can change that belief for you. But if you believe that it is a skill that you can work at building, that you can make progress in, that you can learn the pieces of and be able to successfully implement over time, then you will get very good at this skill. And there might be parts of it that are easier than others for you. That's okay. There's parts of it that are really easy for me and parts of it that are a challenge. And that's also okay. But we're never going to stop learning and growing. And if you think that you can just do it without it being a challenge or pieces of it being a challenge, then you're mistaken. There are so many things in life like this, not just music, not just teaching music. Singing's a big one too. So if you aren't the best singer, but you are plopped into a choral position, a choir setting where you're like, I'm not the best singer, but I can play the piano and I can kind of lead people. That's okay. Singing is also a skill that you can build. I have worked with I have a specific middle schooler that I teach voice lessons for. She could not match pitch hardly at all the first few weeks that I taught her, and she still struggles to match pitch sometimes during choir rehearsal. But during her voice lessons, after 9 or 10 weeks of lessons, she can match pitch and audiate. That means hear pitches in her head before she sings them and actually sing them in tune. That's pretty awesome. Because why? I knew the pieces that she needed to put together, the skill pieces that she was lacking, that I could then teach her and give her, and she could implement and practice, and then she could grow. That's why I'm a little fired up today. So if you are someone who's struggling with something related to your teaching situation, first step, figure out what skill you're lacking. And if you are like, I really don't know what skill I'm lacking, that's where someone like me comes in. That's where you can schedule a one-on-one session and figure out, okay, here are the pieces that I'm struggling with. I can unlock, that's the skill you might want to work on. We can target that skill, teach you and practical implementation steps to then put into place, and off you go. You're practicing, you're growing, you're learning, you're thriving. So I just don't want you to sit and feel stuck. I don't want you to, first of all, believe that you can not grow in these areas. So first of all, I don't want you to believe that you can't grow in these areas. So it starts with belief about yourself. Second, I don't want you to feel stuck just because you're choosing to sit there and feel stuck. There's so many options to you, okay? Another option, if you're like, that's not for me, go check out the new music teacher support and community space that I've created, where we come alongside each other, we come around each other, and we push each other to grow. It's totally where it's at. I'm not just saying that. There's people in the group who are growing, who are learning, who are thriving, who are asking questions and learning to dig deep and practice those skills and do this thing together. And that's the beauty of community. And if you've ever been in another music teacher group and seen all the venting that happens, or you're like all the complaining that you see go by and you just feel really discouraged by all that, this space is not that. So first of all, if you're wanting to go into this space complaining, don't choose my space. I curate this space very specifically so that we don't have an atmosphere of venting just to vent. Now, we do have an atmosphere of problem solving. So if you have things that you are going into that you're like, I really just, but if you go into it with the mindset of problem solving and figuring out what to do about it and then working on it and coming back and sharing those wins or those progress tips and progress over time, this is totally your space. Okay. So go check that out. There's a link in the description of this video if you are not in the group already. And if you are watching from the group, what are you waiting for? Share something that you are having a win with, share something that you want to grow in, and let's do this thing together, because that's what it's all about. All right. Have an awesome rest of your Friday. I will catch you again next week, and have the best weekend. Choose to make it a great day, because you can every single day. That's your choice. Bye for now.